Hi everyone, welcome to Encore, and this is Corin, and today we're going to be discussing the myth that's kind of lurking around frosted eyeshadows and what it does to wrinkles, fine lines, creases, and if it is ideal for mature skin. And I'm also going to be demonstrating the tools that you should be using in applying eyeshadows specifically for frosted ones, and see if we can bust this myth together. So hang around, this is going to be fun. Okay, in this demo I'm going to be using 3 different methods of applying eyeshadow to the skin, and also 3 different tools. These are common tools that people use in applying their eyeshadow. And as a model, I'm actually going to apply it right at the back of my hand, which is this area right here. And if you really kind of look into your skin, you can see a lot of fine lines in the back of my hand. Now this demo again is to prove if the myth of frost eyeshadow amplifies fine lines and wrinkles in your eye area is true. This would be a good place to kind of like do this experiment. So the first tool and method I'm going to use is my finger. A lot of people use their finger in applying their eyeshadow, which they shouldn't, but they do. And we'll see what that's going to do. And I'm going to use MAC, and this is a sumptuous olive color, which is a frost color, and it's kind of like an olive greenish gold color. So I'm just going to get some color right into my finger. I'm going to apply it right the back of my hand. I'm just going to blend it. And as you can see, it completely amplified those fine lines. You can see all the striations right in the back of my hand where I applied the color. And I'm not sure if you can see that there. I think you can see it. Hopefully you can. But you can see all the fine lines are now amplified right there. There are striations. There's some lines that goes that way as well. So basically that did prove that the frost eyeshadow amplified the fine lines in my skin. But that is by using my finger as the applicator. Okay, this time around I took some time to clean my hand with some eye makeup remover, and I'm going to move on to my second tool, and this one involves a sponge tip applicator. A lot of eyeshadows out in the market comes with this type of applicator, and a lot of people do use sponge applicator in applying their eyeshadow. Once again, I'm going to use Sumptuous Olive from MAC, and I'm going to get a little bit of color right into my sponge. And once again, I'm going to apply to the same area. Getting the color in and blending as you would normally do in your eye. Just going to get a little bit more color. And you notice I did a second batch of color right there, and there's a reason for that. If you look at the underside of the applicator, most of the color is absorbed by the sponge. And this is why I do not like using sponge applicators, because you get more products in the sponge than in your skin. And once again, looking at the area, it's better than applying it with your fingers, but you can still see the fine lines. A little bit right there, all the striations and the wrinkling and whatnot. It's still a little amplified. You can see some lines going this way, some lines going that way. It's definitely a little better, a little smoother, but not much than using your fingers in applying this application. And once again, of course, you don't get as much product and the skin because all the product is absorbed by the sponge tip. Once again, I took the time to remove the makeup using some eye makeup remover and moving on to my next tool, which is my eyeshadow brush. Now this is my MAC 217, which is an eyeshadow blending brush, and it's got natural bristles. It's made of goat hair, white goat hair, and it's probably one of the more popular tools that everybody uses as well if you do use eyeshadow brush. And once again, I'm going to do the same thing. Get some of my sumptuous olive into the brush, and I'm going to apply this exactly in the same area. And as you can tell, it just immediately applied a lot of color right in the area where I wanted it. And just like the other two methods, blending, and as you can tell, here it's really smooth, and the application is really even, and you can't see striations, you know, that you originally saw in the first two methods, you know, the fine lines and the wrinkles and whatnot. And of course that's a close-up look. If I back up a little bit, you'll probably see, there you go, I don't know if you can see that. See, you don't see fine lines, you don't see the striations, you don't see nothing, just a smooth application. It's very even. And so basically that just proves that using an eyeshadow brush is far better than using either a sponge tip applicator or your fingers. So you can use frosted eyeshadow and it will minimize the look of fine lines and wrinkles as long as you use a brush to apply it with. Well, hopefully that demo is very helpful to everyone, and I guess this just proves that everybody can use frosted eyeshadow, and it's just a matter of how you put it on. So definitely using a brush is a lot better because the bristles of the brush will get the product and the color into the creases and fine lines, and which is definitely a lot better than using a sponge tip applicator, which will just put the product right on the surface of your skin, and as well as using your fingers, which will not get any of the eyeshadows right into the fine lines where you need them. Thank you so much for busting this myth. So I guess to conclude this, we now prove that yes, frosted eyeshadow will amplify and exaggerate fine lines, but only if you use your fingers or perhaps a sponge tip applicator to apply it on. But I guess no if you're going to be using a natural bristle brush or an eyeshadow brush of any sorts, as long as you work the product into the crevices and the fine lines and the wrinkles and such. So that's all I have for you today, and thanks for hanging, and once again you're watching Encore. Bye.